You know, a wise man once said to me, but who knew what really brought all the boys to the yard was trapdoors. And if you want parties full of pillagers dancing at your wall, then build that wall out of trapdoors. But don't forget the sick beats. Hey, you're ruining my bit, wet zombie boy! Hello there, and welcome back to Roguecraft Season 4. I've already broken ground on the third shop. Well, the third shop in the shopping district. The fourth shop overall, if we count the GGG cargo ship at spawn. I've been debating with myself on whether or not I want to move the cargo ship over here, or I don't know, just build all new shops for what it sells and tear the boat down, or even rebuild it as a wreck on the ice ring that surrounds the island like it was trying to deliver its goods to the district and then ran aground. And I don't know. It would be amazing if I ever had the time or energy to keep up with all the ideas that pop into my head, but sadly, life is expensive and you have to do what you have to do to pay the bills. And I have yet to find anyone who will accept Minecraft diamonds. The weirdos. Anyway, for now, I've decided it's time to put the copper and honey items on sale. Mainly because the chests back at the base are overrunning with honey and I have chest upon chest of oxidized copper blocks. May as well put them both in the same shop, since you need the honey to preserve the oxidation levels of the copper. The only real thought I have to the style of this shop is that I want to have it display all the oxidation levels of copper in a ring so it looks cool on the map when you're flying over. Sort of like the roof I did for the greenhouse last season. So here's a view of the basic shop floor. The only real idea I had was I wanted it to be concave and drop down into the ground with, maybe some sort of canopy over the actual shopping area. So far, so good, I guess. Let's see what we can do to improve it a bit and make it look like an actual shop. One of the dangers of making stuff up as you go is sometimes you hit points like this where nothing you're trying looks like what you had in your head. I'm trying to limit my block palette to items that will either be on sale in the shop or can be made from the items that are on sale in the shop. The end rods are there to provide some lighting because, one flaw with this idea that I hadn't really thought about was I don't have any spots to hide light sources. The floor is copper, and that's the one thing I like about it. I'm starting to doubt myself on this one a bit, but all you can do is keep pushing forward and try new things until something works. I do like how it looks on the map, though, so I guess I'll keep trying. And here we are in my creative world. I did a rough draft of the build here to see if I like the idea of a circular concave floor. I just had this rough idea that I wanted to show off all the copper and all its variations, but I wanted to know, am I going to like this concentric circle idea or not? And here I like it. And for some reason it's not translating to survival. Oh, this over here, this is how I use creative. This is everything I did for the bookshop. I just worked out some general idea like, let's go with a granite floor, maybe use andesite for walls, and, just play around with stairs and slabs and make different shapes with it. This is all I did for the exterior of the shop. Does this work for hair? Does that work for skin? This is really all I do. I don't build the whole shop. I just do some ideas like, I like what I'm seeing here. We can play around a little bit. But I do all the playing around in survival. Which may seem weird, but I've never really understood building everything completely in creative. You're just doing double duty. You're literally building it twice. But I think I'm starting to realize why this isn't translating into survival. The way it looks here is vastly different than the way it looks in survival, and I think I realize why now. So I think the issue is, when I built it in creative, it's above ground and all on its own, but here, it's next to two much larger builds, and it makes it look minuscule. It's really about location, location, location. It just looks tiny, so it's never going to look right next to these other two builds. I should have put it on a hill or something. I don't know. I'm not going to rebuild it, but I did put this roof on it. I think that makes a huge difference for it. So with the roof, I still get this gradient view of the copper on the map. It looks pretty good there. So see, come on, zoom in. There we go. So it looks good on the map, but it's still, even though on the map it looks about the same size as the iron shop, it really looks tiny next to these two shops. Oh well, live and learn. So, and these little tiny poles with the end rods, they look too flimsy to hold up anything, and I think that's part of the problem. But I'm gonna leave that for the canopy. For the roof, I went with these granite pillars, but that's really not working. I'm gonna keep trying, keep poking away at this, but I think I'm on the right path with the roof. It's just I need to do something about these pillars. See you in a few. Alright, I think I'm finally as happy as I'm going to get with the copper shop. I think it turned out pretty well, all things considered. I added a hint of raw copper blocks into the pillars, and for some reason, it really seems to work. I was kind of surprised just how much I liked it after I tried it out. That, along with the mud brick walls and acacia fences, kind of mix up the textures a bit and adds a bit of contrasting colors to the whole thing that, I don't know, it really seems to work for me. I don't know what it is about it that I do like, but I do. I like it. And the addition of the copper banners really adds a bit of solidness to the build that it desperately needed, while also playing around with the color scheme at the same time. I spent a lot of time looking up cool banner pattern ideas, but found this simple gradient idea worked the best. I added in some glass panes to the top here to also tie the roof to the floor a bit. Without the glass, the roof kind of looked like it was floating on top of the pillars a bit. The canopy area in the center looks a whole lot better now that I tied it to the ceiling as well. It's funny how when it was just copper and end rod supporting it from below, it looked weak and thin, but now that it's supported from above and below, it looks just fine. It somehow pulls the whole build together, having them on top and bottom. And as far as for what's actually on sale here, we have a chest full of honey blocks on sale for 1 stack per diamond. And over here we have pre-oxidized copper blocks for sale. My thinking is, I can sell corroded copper blocks and leave it to the customer to remove as much oxidation as they want later, versus selling regular copper and the user having to wait for it to oxidize. Simpler for me and better for the customer. For those with a bit of a sweet tooth, we have all the bottles of honey you could ever ask for, and finally, to keep your copper looking all nice and shiny, we also sell all the wax anyone could ever need. So, aside from placing the shop in a poor location, I really like how things turned out. Putting it in a bad spot is just one of those mistakes to learn from in the future, but otherwise, it looks pretty good. So, after all the time and effort I put into the copper shop, I decided I needed a bit of a stress reliever, so I decided to go and raid another ancient city. I needed more swift sneak enchants, but I also wanted to get all the shards for the music disc so I could mount the new disc on my wall as a trophy. And after much dodging and weaving and sneaking and even more sneaking, I managed to finally get my hands on enough shards and, bonus, they just happened to fit together into one perfect disc. So, with a bit of bubblegum and layer upon layer upon layer of superglue, we finally get to hear what the denizens of the deep listened to back in the day. So put on your dancing shoes and get ready to bounce. Yeah. You know, I think I may know why the warden is so annoyed by sound. I'd be a bit triggered too if this is what passed for music. So, yeah. I'll mount that disc to my wall because, yep, that is the best way to enjoy that CD. So, as we try and clean our ears and forget the nightmare that is the Ancient City music disc, let's watch our friend Allie the LA dance and spin to the groove that is Otherside. Wow, just look at her go. She really does seem to be enjoying it, doesn't she? And there's Smokey, still scared of everything. It's okay, little buddy. Dancing blue demons are a good thing. And on that happy note, I'm afraid I'm going to have to cut this video short. We didn't get a whole lot done this week, but I would rather release this now than have it wait another week just to add another 5 minutes to it. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. I have been Gragore, and this has been Roguecraft. And be sure to let me know what you think of the Copper Shop. Good, bad, too busy, too tiny? Let me know what you think. But until next time, always remember that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, always try and find a way to make it fun. See ya!